Hari Om, and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC Satsang. So let us continue our contemplation based on the questions that we have framed based on Advaita Makaranda talks given by Sri Prabhu ji. So far, we have framed about these 15 questions and we have contemplated the first 3 questions on the Day-1 talks. Today, the focus will be on the 4th question. What is the difference between having and knowing? However, as each one of you get a chance, you can also express your views on the first 3 if you have not yet already, or if you have any other points that you feel you still have to express. And based on that, you can come to the 4th question. So let us begin with our contemplation for today. What is the difference between having and knowing? Rajita ji, can we begin with you?
Hari Om. Yes, Vijay ji.
And you also mentioned you would like to express on the last 3, right?
No issues. I'll just mention.
Yes, see. Yeah.
So, Hari Om, everyone. Now, first 3 I'll just mention, and for the 4th one, I'll just contemplate a few more sentences about that. So, in this Advaita Makaranda, Lakshmidhara Kavi is talking about the honeybees which collect honeys from various flowers. So it's like from various Upanishads, Vedas, Veda mantras, the bees are collecting honey, and we are also compared to honeybees. We are collecting some knowledge from Vijayji, a few talks from Guruji, few what you call a few knowledge from other gurus, like our nature, similar to Dattatreya Guru, how Dattatreya Guru treated the nature as his guru. We will also in our life we will be trying to collect honey, like knowledge, honey in the sense knowledge from different sources, and just to make sure that everything is Advaita, no duality. Just that concept should deeper in us. That is the reason we are making clear by having more like Shravana from various sources, and Manana, just like AVSC groups, we will discuss, we will contemplate, we will clarify our doubts, and that Manana happens, and Nididhyasa. As per my knowledge, the Nididhyasa is not happening properly, I think. For that also some time I should donate, I should give some more time, I feel, in my personal life. So Shravana, because of the AVSC sessions, it's happening. And Manana also, AVSC sessions happens. Nididhyasa is where it has to happen for me. So just to make sure that, just to understand that there is no duality. We are doing all this process. And then what is Brahmanda, or joy of liberation? So the moment liberation is in our understanding, actually. So the moment I feel that I am not bound by this body, mind, or intellect, like when something happens to body, if I have the knowledge that Nanu Nanembadu Nanalla, Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla, Satchit Ananda Swarupi, Shiva Nanu Nane. If I have that knowledge, if I have that understanding deeper into my superconscious, subconscious states of mind, then nobody, no situation can shake us. no external situations can disturb us, either mentally, physically, or emotionally. So that is about. Uh, so if I have to feel that again, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, and Seva definitely is helping me actually. So even without any one, it will be difficult. So as per Guruji's guidelines, every Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa and Seva, everything should go in parallel, which I am implementing in my day-to-day life. Uh, by Guru's grace, hope I will continue the same thing and uh, feel that joy of liberation. Sometimes I'm feeling actually, but because of previous vasanas and samskaras, sometimes I feel it is not that easy for me to feel that I'm separate from body, mind, and intellect. Because when we have continuous interactions with the people, we feel that I am separate from the others sometimes. So even that has to reduce the frequency of those thoughts that I am separate from other people. That should reduce. So it is happening. And now let's move on to the third question. According to what is the limitation of space, time, and attributes? So in the last class, like Anupama ji and a few others, they have given their understanding, and Vijay ji also expressed about this. But practically speaking, I need some more clarity with simple examples, Vijay ji, for the third question. Uh, just for today's class to get that concept into deeper
So
thing.
Swarupa and Guna. Swarupa is something that is inherent. Guna
Ha,
is something that is derived. So,
okay.
as an example, fire, the
Hmm.
Swarupa of fire is burning. It cannot,
Okay.
you cannot separate the burning, the
Ha,
quality of the burning from fire. Then there is no more something you call as a fire.
ha, okay.
Whereas the intensity of the fire
Ha,
can vary. That is also quality that you can observe in fire. See, when the fire is burning, you can say, oh, it is so intense.
hmm.
Intensity depends upon, for example, the material that is on which it is burning. If it is a small lamp and a small wick, the intensity may
Hmm.
be small. If it is, let's say, a wildfire, the intensity is very high.
Correct.
So that quality called intensity is also there in the fire, but
Hmm.
it is not inherent. It is subject to modification. It can
Correct.
change. If it is on a small wick, it is small. If it is in wildfire, it is so huge.
Hmm.
So this is the first distinction we need to develop between Swarupa and Guna, inherent and derived quality. So,
Okay.
so similarly, when we talk about self, pure self, what is the inherent nature of the pure self?
Satchitananda. Hmm.
Satchidananda.
Ha,
So when you realize you are Satchidananda, that is your inherent nature,
hmm.
rest everything else is a limitation that you're imposing upon yourself
Hmm.
because of the various gunas that may be in the mind.
Correct.
So the guna in the mind, one may, what is guna in the first place? It is created by the three gunas that we talk about, the tamas, the
Sattva.
rajas, the sattva, right?
Ha. Yes.
So the vasanas amplify them. So for example,
Okay. Hmm.
one may feel I'm a man or I'm a woman.
Ha.
That is not a swarupa. That is a limitation that you're imposing upon yourself based on various vasanas that you've gathered,
Hmm.
which depending upon your guna either get amplified. Somebody may very strongly feel I'm a gender, right?
Hmm. Yes,
Somebody
yes.
may feel, okay, sometimes I feel like that, sometimes I don't feel like that. So
Hmm.
the vasana may not be very strong.
Okay.
Somebody may feel I'm a very strong Indian. Somebody may feel, okay, chalta hai, what is so great about it? Like that.
Ha.
So, so like that, all these derived attributes, derived qualities become your own limitation. So when you are an Indian, you're not a American, as an
Hmm.
example.
Yes.
So you may feel at at conflict with
Ha.
if somebody comes and poses some threat to your Indianness,
Ha. Ragadvesha will come.
raga dvesha appear.
Ha.
So that is the idea of the space, time, and attribute limitation.
Oh, yes. Correct. Thank you for revising, Vijayji.
Sure, ji.
Uh, so basically, our depending on our nature, sattva, rajas, tamo, these attributes will amplify. So here one more question, Vijayji. Other than this pranayama, yoga, all those things help us to come out like see when a person is in rajoguna, he is continuously he wants to do that, do this, and he wants to um, some lot of work, and then he will finally with the knowledge, with the blessings of guru, he will enter the sattva guna. But when the person is in rajoguna, is there any other means other than, see, everybody will not be blessed with a guru. So using pranayama or yogasanas, will he be able to come to sattva guna? And
So when we talk about the modification of the gunas,
ha,
we generally talk in terms of, oh, from tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva.
ha,
But ultimately, through jnana, one has to realize that one is guna atita. So
gunatita.
rajo, tamo, and sattva are
Ha,
not my inherent attributes.
hmm,
However, they they can be modified. See,
yes,
at the end of the day, when
ha,
someone we say that okay, someone used to be very lazy, now they're very activity oriented, or they were very angry, now they've become very peaceful.
correct.
What is that we are observing? There used to be some kind of an amplification of some kind of a quality. Now
Ha,
we see some other kind of quality being amplified.
ha,
But the fundamental question is, who decided that I will give up my anger and I will be expressing more and more peacefully? Who decided that I will give up my laziness and I will become more and more focused on activities? Who
jiva,
decided?
jiva,
That individual, right?
individual, yes,
That individual who has, see, who is a jiva? That individual who still has a limitation.
yes,
But it is that individual who decided. The input or the trigger may have come from various sources.
ha, okay,
From where the input comes, from where the trigger comes is definitely important, but for the time being, secondary. But who decided? That individual decided. So, like that, the individual, depending upon the life situation, why would anybody give up their laziness? Because the life circumstances force them sometimes. So,
yes,
if you're simply sleeping and eating, you may not be able to survive. So, life circumstances force you. Sometimes it may be a true inner awakening. Oh, the way
mm.
I'm living my life, what use is it that I have this wonderful body, mind? What am I putting this to use for? What is the benefit of
Enquiry,
it?
enquiry,
Inquiry
process
begin.
of enquiry,
May
yes,
begin, right? So any
ha,
of these or maybe there is a life situation which is causing ill health.
ha,
Suddenly, awakening may happen because the doctor is saying you have only another few years to live if you
ha.
continue this way. So, like that, life uh, as a way of helping you and me evolve by giving these situations or by awakening that inner inquiry. Okay, so is this all life about eat, sleep, get up? Is there something more? So, like that, it may be a genuine inquiry also. So, anyway, as one inquires, one is looking at the nature of who am I fundamentally. They may not be aware of that question, but there is a search. What is a search for? Search is always for some kind of a, I want to be happy, healthy, peaceful. When? All the time. Where? All the places. Right?
Yes.
It is not enough that, oh, in the presence of Prabhuji, I'm very, very peaceful. But the moment I go home, you know how terrific I feel. Then it is not permanent. It is something that is getting induced in me. But it is important. It is important that induction is happening, that it is helping me to distinguish what is the difference in his presence versus in his absence. Why am I feeling peaceful in satsanga? Why am I not feeling peaceful otherwise? That self-inquiry alone can help me. Because during that self-inquiry, then I have to really question, okay, Prabhuji is saying Sat Chit Ananda is my true nature. If that is the case, then outside satsanga, outside Prabhuji's presence also, it must be the case. Why it is not so? What is bringing that limitation? So it's a process of self-inquiry. I have to I have to examine that question and see what is my own conditioning, what is the concept that I am carrying, the vasana that I'm carrying, what is the limitation that I am carrying, which is making me feel, most of us say this, no, oh, Prabhuji is realized, I am not. Prabhuji can be peaceful, but I cannot be. But that Prabhuji also has to go through all the rigors of life. He also has to listen to praise. He also has to listen to criticism. He also has to go through the bodily various kinds of ailments. How come he can be peaceful? What is special in him that is not available in you? So that self-inquiry has to begin because Prabhuji has given the knowledge, but that knowledge has to be applied by you and me. Then only I can overcome my own limitations that I have set upon my own true nature and saying, I am that, I am this, I can only be here like that, I can only be here like this. All these are my own ways of thinking.
I think Rajita's question was more of that, like we are in this group, under Prabhuji's guidance, the classes are going on, but someone who is not in the presence or under the guidance of any guru, how will they learn? Will pranayama sadhana help them to overcome all these emotions, raga, dvesha, and get in touch with their new innate nature? Am I right, Rajita? Was that your question?
Yes, yes, exactly. And
Right.
how he will become gunatita?
Yeah, how he will
The,
become
is
Gunatita
the
without the guidance? Is the
yes,
guru's guidance the must? Or
correct.
can anyone without that also, with this help of, yoga asanas or pranayama or, reading on their own or something like that,
Yes,
without the presence of a guru or guidance, is it possible? Is the question.
yeah, correct.
I think I'll just take a shot, Vijayji, and then you can correct me.
Sure,
In
Ji.
my opinion, I personally feel if somebody is uh, very regular with their practices of yoga asanas and all, they yoga is a science of our own well-being. It's a technology kind of thing. Guruji also explains it. So over a period of time, if they are regularly doing it, that brings a lot of peace. It definitely connects to them innate nature without them having that kind of a Advaita jnana without them. But because that inner cellular cells, I think they get that kind of connectivity with our own inner nature is my personal opinion, because my own personal experience also says someone who is doing their yoga, they are very calm, very peaceful. The thinking capacity and all are there. So over a period of time, if they are continuously doing it, and as Vijayji said, if they have their own thinking, like if somebody is sick and then it's like, or get some kind of a disease, then they get a thought about that, what am I doing with my life?
Yes.
This kind of inquiry and their sadhanas will definitely help them, going towards their own nature. Because I don't think everybody gets into this, but the people who, the short, uh, you know, percentage of people who are into, not into Advaita exclusively, but are getting, doing their sadhanas or any kind of thing, definitely have some kind of, connection, but the jnana still would not be there, all that kind of what we learn is definitely not there, but still they are, I think, closer to that, is my personal opinion. Vijayji, you can add to it.
SG, see, there are two things. There is what Ramana Maharshi calls as Manonasha, Manolaya. So, as an example, Ji, when you are doing pranayama, when you're doing breathing, or when you're doing anything that you, in a way, love, it doesn't necessarily have to be pranayama, yogasana. Some people find it very, very relaxing and very joyful when they are cooking, when they are doing, say, some kind of a painting, or when they are singing, or when they are running. In fact, you ask any of these marathon runners, why do they run? See, marathon running is, some 42 kilometers that they need to run, and it is usually about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. It's very, very painful physically. And for that, they have to train for nearly years together. Almost every day or once in every 2, 3 days, they need to run. Purely from an outside, if you notice, it's a very painful process. You ask them, why do they do? One common answer that I have received in whoever I have talked to who runs these long distance is that when they are running, they feel some kind of a, there is some energy, some kind of a feeling where, I feel very nice. So what is happening at the end of the day? It may be any activity, it doesn't matter, but that activity is helping that individual to be in the flow. They,
Mm.
there is something that is bothering them other times is not bothering them during that time. Much like how little children are very, very joyful when they're playing. You also, when you're doing something very, very natural and joyful for you, you feel very nice. So we express it through all these expressions. Nice. Oh, I was in the flow. Oh, exciting, thrilling. So different expressions. But bottom line, what is happening? There is something that would bother them at some other activity, during some other activity. Let's say the same person, if that person, imagine, has to discuss some work related activity with his or her boss, may have a jitteriness, or may have to go through some kind of a, let's say, discussion, or some kind of a tough situation that they need to discuss with their child. Their child is not doing something that the parent wants, and the child is not at all listening. So as a parent, one may feel that jitteriness or disturbance. So during those other activities, that sense of joy that one would feel is not there, is absent. That is the perception.
Mm.
That is what you and I have to first of all learn to distinguish. So what has happened when somebody is doing an activity that they like? Some kind of a momentarily limitations have got dropped. I am that, I am this, I can only be that, I can only be this. All of those limitations have got dropped. Whether it is pranayama, whether it is yogasana, whether it is running, whether it is painting, whether it is dancing, you take anything. For
Mm.
some time, the limitation that used to come and occupy my mind, they have
Yes.
dropped. All those times when it has dropped, the sense of joy that you feel, from where it is coming? The sense of
Mm.
joy or that sense of thrill is not coming because of the activity. If that was the case, if I do the same activity again and again, all the time, I must be more and more joyful. But that is not indeed the case.
Correct.
Yeah, a simple example, all of us know. Mango. Maybe you love mango. One mango, two mango is okay. Third mango already, ayo, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, not at all. Ayo, I don't even want to see that. So
Mhm.
it's not the mango or it is not the activity that is bringing this sense of joy. It must be somewhere else where the only place is you. So what it means, what is the inference? Whenever I am involved in some activity, the limitations in my mind have been dropped. So because there are no limitations, the inherent nature is shining. Can be
Mm.
the only possible inference. Okay,
Excellent,
wonderful.
Vijay. Wonderful explanation.
Yes,
See,
yes,
that is
right.
absolutely correct.
Correct.
Now that it has happened, Ji, the important question is still not addressed in such an activity-oriented approach, which is why am I feeling limited in other times? Why am I feeling not limited during these times? If that fundamental question, who is feeling the limitation? If that fundamental question doesn't appear, then such a person still can be connected to that activity only. You know what? I have to relax. So I have to always jump, always run, always paint, always do pranayama. Only through pranayama I am peaceful. Otherwise, you don't know what's happening in my life. So they become enslaved to now an activity for joy. So it is still not natural. Why? I have to still do something to be happy, to be peaceful. So earlier, I fight with my boss and I come and do pranayama. Oh, to get away from my boss, I do pranayama. So from one activity, I've replaced it with another activity. So this is not what Vedanta is talking about. This is not what Sadhguru is pointing at. Sadhguru Vedanta is pointing at your very nature is peace. Your very nature is joy. Your very nature is that absolute energy. You are the very source of it, which means what? Whether I'm discussing with my boss, or I'm running, or I'm doing pranayama, or I'm eating, whatever the activity I may be doing, I must be that only. Then
Mm.
why am I not feeling that way? The only possible place where I'm not feeling that way is here within me. And what is that that is stopping me? My own thinking, because there is nobody else there to deal with. My own thinking. What thinking? About how I am related to this activity. So, what is the activity? What is my connection to that activity? So, there is still a me who's connected to that activity. So, who am I during that running activity where I felt joyful, or during that pranayama who felt joyful? Who am I when I'm not feeling so joyful in this activity? Who am I? Who am I in that activity and who am I in this activity? That fundamental question, if that doesn't appear, then the annihilation of the mind will not happen, which is what is manonasha. So if manonasha doesn't happen, means what? Manonasha doesn't mean vegetable. Manonasha means I have realized the limitations I have imposed upon myself. So I have become free from the limitations I have been imposing upon myself. During this and during that, I have become free from the limitations.
So, Vijayji, again, the question again comes as Rajita ji said. So, uh, uh, for everyone to recognize their own shining inner nature, the blissful nature, so is Guru a mandatory then?
Excellent
Without
question.
guru,
Now,
can they never ever get to know their real nature. Like I understand the painting, yoga, or marathon running, anything. That is a time when they are actually so joyful because their limitations are dropped. It's not the activity per se, but it is that during that time their limitations are dropped and they get this. And then it's not that activity as such, you said, right? So, and later again, the chances are that they'll get back to the other material, raga, dvesha, or the derived nature, the, the gunas.
yeah,
So, is guru mandatory for one to realize the truth?
excellent question. Now, please notice the nature of the question. Okay. So, is guru mandatory? There are there is one inherent assumption, or there is one inherent um, who is a guru?
Guru can be anything actually. It's not like a particular person in a certain form and a shape. Guru can be anything. I think read it. A leaf can be a guru, a water can be guru. Anything that will teach is a guru.
How will it
Yourself,
teach
your
you?
inner
How will
nature,
it
if you
teach you?
understand, that is also guru.
How will it teach you?
I think you're through your perceptions.
So fundamentally, whether it is Prabhuji who is speaking to you, or if you so choose to, if you are so truly in tune with it,
Hmm.
Prabhuji is not just in that body called Prabhuji, Prabhuji is in that leaf also.
Correct.
If you so choose to, if you are so sensitive, then Prabhuji will speak to you through the air also. However, somebody has to listen. So as long as there is somebody who is listening, who is seeking, there is somebody else who helps that somebody.
Correct.
So fundamentally, who is Guru? The one who removes my ignorance. My fundamental ignorance, please understand, there are various kinds of gurus. Okay, so dancing guru, jumping guru, food guru, pranayama guru, they all are teaching me some techniques. Very, very valuable, very, very important. But there is one Sadguru who removes my ignorance about my own self, who destroys who am I, who brings clarity to who am I question. That Guru is called Sadguru because that is the root of all other ills. That is the root of all other various modifications that I experience in life. So, therefore, that Sadguru who removes my ignorance about my own true nature, about the limitation that I have imposed upon myself, that Sadguru has a very clear and sharp focus is to remove my ignorance about my own true nature because it is I who has imposed self limitations. And it is extremely challenging to see my own self limitations. Extremely challenging because how can I see my own limitations that I have put upon myself? Because I have to be so introspective, so sensitive that I notice all these differences. So in that sense, for most, though Sadguru is speaking to you and me and to everyone all the time, because Sadguru is not a physical body. Sadguru is everywhere, all the time. Ishvara Guru Atmeti. Sadguru is only within you as your Atma. Sadguru is the Ishvara. Sadguru is the one who appears as Prabhuji. Sadguru is the one who is appearing as the light, as the air. Ishvara Guru Atmeti. However, depending upon my own vasanas, my own limitations, I may have to learn by explicit instructions. I may have to listen. See, why Shravana is given such a high importance? Have to listen. Okay, I have to listen to what? If I truly listen to the air, then I can drop my limitations. But am I sensitive enough to listen to the air? If I truly
Most
listen
of the
to
time, we are not.
Most of the times we are not, because we are so tuned to the
The
spoke,
outside world, the
the spoke,
talking,
right?
outside what they are saying, but sometimes we don't listen to the inner, the nuances or the perception basically there.
Exactly, right? So therefore, a Sadguru helps understand this by bringing examples that you and I can listen to. See,
Correct.
the air is speaking the way it is speaking. I may not listen to it. The bird is speaking the way it is speaking. I may not understand it. But Sadguru speaks, your Kannada, your English, your language, your circumstances, your situations, and slowly helps you to see the difference. So therefore, a Sadguru is very, very important. Sadguru in the physical form is very, very important for most. So therefore,
Correct.
the answer depends upon that individual. There is no general yes or no answer.
Absolutely right.
And
Thank you so much.
here the intensity to meet Sadguru has to come from within. Like few people, yes, I want to meet, but it's okay. It's still I have time and that. But for few people, no, 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 no. Here and now, I have to meet the Sadguru and I have to take the. So it depends on it. Even that intensity also depends on the individual. No, Vijayji.
That is correct, Ji.
Hmm.
For some, the intensity may appear because of certain life situations.
Ha.
So when life situation comes to, for example, life and death,
Hmm.
most people may wake up at that time, life and death. Okay, so all the life I've lived like this.
Hmm.
Uh, now what? There is one beautiful movie of Akira Kurosawa where there is one government official, who has lived his life all through his life, living through the bureaucracy. Suddenly, one day, he gets a news that, he has only another 3 months to live. Imagine the same situation for you and me. For a moment, it may look like, oh, it's a movie situation, but please imagine that situation. If, let's say, you are told, I am told, that you have only 3 months to live. What is that you would like to do? What is that you want in those 3 months? Or imagine, you have only another 3 days to live. How will you
I
live?
know. Every moment I want to do something meaningful, which brings joy to others, because others are nothing but my own self projecting as different people. So every moment I want to live a meaningful life for others.
But see, this question, no, we simply look at this question, nice movie. In that movie also, he realizes exactly the same thing that you just now said.
Hmm.
It changes so much that, there is one little playing space that some people have been giving application to, which he had been ignoring. Now, suddenly he finds a newfound energy to make that happen in those 3 months. And it kind of, he's so content. Once when that little playground for little children is done, he's so content just watching them play that game. So
Which movie is that, Vijayji?
I will share the link.
Sure.
It's been then later converted into a nice little English movie called The Living. You
Okay.
watch that English movie, The Living. Excellently done. I'll share that link, G.
Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah. But the important thing is, it's the same question that you and I also have to ask. Because you and I, how long are you going to live? Is anyone here? Is anyone here who is aware how long are you going to live?
Actually, approximately also we can't tell, Vijayji. Even the doctor can't tell.
No, nobody really knows. But
Hmm.
that's the pointer to what you just now said, Rajita ji. Most
Ah.
of us also tend to carry, okay, somebody is dying. in a way true. In a way true. You are
Yeah.
deathless, but you have to realize how you are deathless.
Hmm.
You have to realize how you are Amara.
Yes. And even in Bhagavad Gita, one shloka, it justifies, no, Vijayji. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. That is the most fearful situation for any people. So, Guru guides us to overcome that fear of death by giving by taking off the ignorance and giving jnana.
Yeah, because the fear is arriving from I am limited in space, time, and by attributes.
Yes.
Fundamentally, fear stems from I am somebody.
Hmm.
And that somebody, I see that somebody always gets destroyed. However mighty and powerful that some body may be, every body gets destroyed. I see that. Therefore, as long as I am also somebody, I also have the same fear.
Yes. So with this deep rooted in us, that fear of death, that is also one trigger, no, Vijayji, to to increase our intensity of sadhana or self inquiry. Fear.
Isn't it, Rajita ji?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know whether there is a next moment for me or not. I'm glad that right now I'm breathing, living, and able to be here. How should I use this time? So, unless that fundamental awakening happens, you and I can tend to live life. Okay, one day I will do this.
Mm.
That sense of urgency can come because sometimes life pushes you. Like Sadguru is the most karunamaya, the most kind, most benevolent. God, Ishvara, is the most benevolent. In the Sanatana, existence is the most benevolent. It is not a existence which is taking an account of your rights and wrongs. What is meant by that? That benevolence has to be experienced when one is living. That,
Jivan Mukti.
that alone liberates you. Because the very
Jivan.
source of life is that kindness, that love.
Yeah.
So the situations that come in front of me are actually out of the kindness. If I am able to see the love and the kindness in that situation. Because the greatest sin is I imposing limitations on my true nature. So therefore, situations of life are to remove that limitation in the most fundamental sense. So any situation where I am feeling irritated, angry, upset, it's it's a it's a opportunity for me to introspect.
Very nice teaching, Vijay. Every situation is a blessing for us. So we have to realize that, and we have to take the learning. We have to introspect. I have to think that it is for my evolution. I am in this situation. So express my love and kindness every moment for what I am. Then having and knowing our next question. So whatever we have, I should know that this real nature. So no matter if I don't have crores or house or whatever it is, or costly things, if I know that if I am this, then that it makes a huge difference. Then we experience the joy of liberation.
Correct.
Yes, thank you, Vijay. Let me give a chance to my friends also. Let them also express their views. Thank you so much for clearing few of my doubts. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om Vidyaji, Hari Om Manasaji, Hari Om Nalini Amma, Hari Om Satyaji.
Hari Om Prabhuji. Hari Om Vijayji. Sorry.
We are contemplating on fourth question. So who would like to go next? Who would like to express your views on the fourth question? Difference between having and knowing.
Shall I, Vijayji?
Please, go ahead, Ji.
Yeah. The difference between having and knowing, generally, the mind keeps on going outward. It wants to have everything in the sense of I want to have all the happiness in the world. I want to have all the peace in the world. Even peace, everything is like a wanting. And until we have it, the mind is not peaceful. But the difference lies in knowing that we already have everything. We are everything. So I want peace, or I want something in the world, versus knowing that I am peace. So there is nothing more to have, nothing more to seek, or nothing more to keep on going back into the world. That is the power of knowledge. Like once I understand that, I know that I myself am happiness, I am peace, there is nothing more to seek. Is that right, Vijayji?
Wonderful, Ji. So can you express it in connection to the last question also?
The limitation of space, time, and attribute.
Yeah. So how is having and knowing, how can you connect that question to the last question?
Yeah. When we have something, this limitation of space, time definitely applies to anything that we have, because everything is material, and it has a time bound, a space bound utility, or you may feel happy or content only for that time. But knowing that I am the self, I am the peace, I am happiness, this has no boundaries. It is like eternal. There will not be a fear of losing it, because you are that. And there is no running after something to get something. And the fear of losing something, the fear of losing my body, the fear of losing anything in this world, that is not there. So knowing is limitless. Like I am the self. Knowing that is limitless. Once that is known, there is no any sort of limitation. It is boundless.
Excellent. So having is again imposing the space-time attribute limitation. Knowing is being free
and
from.
when you have, there is a chance of not having also. But when you know, there is no chance of not knowing.
Would you like to add any example, Ji?
I have money, or I have health, is a matter of time. And the moment there is some time which passes, things may change. And again, the mind, and another thing is, the mind keeps wanting for more. It is never like the law of DMU. It is never happy. What I wanted yesterday may not be what I want today. It will be something more than that, or something other than that. So such limitations are always there to having. Even if it is like having something, there is always a boundary, and there is always again a sense of restlessness. The restlessness comes either because you are not completely satisfied with what you have, you may want more, or the fear of losing it. Money or any assets or any material things, or for that matter any person, me having my own body, all these are they definitely have limitations. But once this is shifted to knowing that I am peace, I am happiness, there is nothing else to seek, that is it. I mean, there is no running after anything, and peace is not there is no it is not something that you can measure. Peace is something that you once you have it, you have it there. And that eternal peace is what I'm talking about. Peace is not something that you get when you drink a cup of coffee or get out of something. It is the peace that always is there, and once that is realized, I don't think there is anything to run after. Even if all the haves are lost, the peace is unshattered.
Correct. So in terms of our day-to-day living, G, for example, if somebody says, you know what, I have money, 10 lakh rupees bank balance is such a source of comfort. I can do certain things. But if I know I am peaceful, but still, my day-to-day life still requires money. How is okay, I'm peaceful, but I'm not able to fulfill my day-to-day needs itself. So yes, you connected the having and the knowing. There is no more I'm doing something or I need to have something for the sake of the peace. But money is money. Money buys things, and money also helps. So how would you resolve this conflict if this question is asked?
Money is what money buys. Definitely, money has in the Vyavaharika, there is always, just like, we talk about silence. But can you be silent? Silence is the inner silence. Peace is the inner peace, the eternal peace. But in the outward, in the world, definitely the body is an instrument, the mind is an instrument that has to be used to fulfill all that the body requires. All the bodily requirements are fulfilled by the mind and the body. That should not be confused with achieving of happiness or peace. But if peace is unshattered, I think whatever function the body is destined to perform, it will perform. There is no doubt about it. And having peace does not mean that it is something like lethargic, or it is not. It does not stop a person from doing anything else. This body is there for a purpose, and the body has to survive, and everything in order to keep the body in good health, in good shape, and to be able to perform all the activities of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the body is required. So that has to be performed. So money or having any such possession or doing anything to have such possession should not be confused or substituted with having peace or knowing that I am peaceful.
Okay, wonderful. So you've heard the word abundance. How do you do you find any connection between abundance and having and knowing and the discussion we are having about money?
Yeah. Yes, Vijay. The abundance. Um, there was an example that Prabhuji recently gave me. Someone who has crores of rupees with him. I mean, even there was a news also that someone, because the market was falling down during the COVID time, someone who already had some 27, 30 crores with him, he just committed suicide because he was losing money. So, and there is someone who has crores and crores of rupees, but still is very conscious of spending 1 rupee for anything. So there is a lot of restriction he imposes on people around him, so that the money is not spent. On the contrary, there are people who do not have so much, but within their limits, they tend to. I don't relate spending to be happy, to happiness, but they tend to be happy and peaceful within the existing means. So it totally depends on abundance consciousness or lacking feeling that you have. So once you are full of happiness, I am joy, I am peaceful, there is a sense of abundance that you operate with. So you are literally not seeking something from the world that yes, I should get that, I should get this for happiness, but yes, to the extent possible by this body mind complex. Because at this moment, for example, I can't earn a crore. This may be my limitation, but I'm okay with it. So when I operate with my abundance consciousness, there is a feeling of half glass full. And when there is this, I don't have this, I'm lacking something, that sort of limitation, that is like my glass is empty. I need to fill it with something. So this makes a difference in the whole personality of the BMI. So definitely, abundance is a quality, or it is an observation when there is this knowing that I am peaceful, I am the peace, I am the happiness, I am joy. And because that is there inside, what radiates out of the person or what overflows out of the person is abundance and peace and happiness. A person who is always feeling limited by many things, I don't have this, I don't have that, cannot ever give peace to anyone else. And there is a different energy around the person which overflows, because what is there inside only comes out.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, Satyaji. Does anyone have questions for Satyaji? Are there any questions for Satyaji?
I think wonderful explanation she has given. So
Yes. I have one thing. So abundance is a feeling, no, Vijayji. It is feeling
How do you describe feeling, Ji? What is, according to you, your viewpoint? What is
yeah,
feeling, Ji?
abundance is not just about the physical thing like money or feeling abundant. We can feel abundant in with respect to many other things. Like I can feel abundant with respect to the knowledge, and it's not having or knowing. Depends on that abundant feeling, I think.
Okay, so let's clarify this. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
your inherent nature, Swarupa, is Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda comes because of your Anantate. Ananta means what? Infinite.
Yes.
Means what? No limitations. No limitations. So mind cannot fathom no limitations, because mind operates in limitations only. In the
Mm.
mind, imagine infinite. No way to imagine infinite. Infinite means what? Whatever that is seen and unseen must be already part of that infinite.
Ah,
So money must already be part of that infinite.
correct.
Air must be already part of that infinite.
Mm.
Gold must be already part of that infinite. Car must be already part of that infinite.
Correct.
Peace must be already part of that infinite. So whatever you and I can notice and not
Mm.
notice must be already part of it. That is how it is called as infinite. If it is not part, if it is not including something and something is excluded from it, it can no more be called infinite because something is separate from it. So which means what? Which means abundance is because you are ananta. It's inherent in you. However, depending upon the limitations one imposes.
Ah,
So we can take three characters, okay? In a way, because you've asked that question, the next question is kind of related to this. If you allow, I will show this short video. Then through this video, we will discuss three characters, okay? Two
yeah,
characters
sure.
you find in this scene and
Mm.
one character that is not necessarily in this scene, okay?
Okay.
Many of you may have seen this movie, right? You may have seen this. It's
Okay.
from a movie called Pushpaka Vimana. It was
Mm.
done by Sangeetam Srinivas Rao. It became a super hit. It was
Correct.
one of a kind of a movie. There are no dialogues in this movie, but
Correct.
a very, very, very wonderful movie. Yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
particular scene in this movie. You notice this scene, and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, that's the scene. Uh, do I need to replay this? Were you able to observe everything?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, so tell me, Ji, from these two characters, what is that one can observe, and what can we learn from these two characters? What did you notice from these two characters? What are they doing? What did you notice?
One person with well dressed, when he is having only one coin with him, and the person who is sitting with who's a probably I think he is a beggar. So, but he has a lot of money with him, and even though he has that the lot of money, his attitude is begging only. Give me, give me, give me. He is expecting from the others, though he has that much money.
Correct. That is also correct. But there is one
Huh.
very important change that happens in this person who's well dressed in the beginning. Did you notice that? Okay, let me just play it again. Just notice. Notice what happens in the beginning. Notice what is he doing in the beginning, and notice his facial expression in the beginning. What did you notice there?
Maybe the guy who is well dressed is trying to show off that, see that I have the coin.
Yes.
There's an attitude And he's displaying a certain attitude in that.
And then,
See
you
this
know, the beggar is also showing only one coin. So
Yeah,
he's feeling, oh, I have more than you.
correct.
Okay. So now, who is a beggar? Who is a beggar?
In the context of this movie, or in general, you're asking, Vijay?
You can first explain it in the context of the scene that you're noticing, and then in general also you can express your feeling.
I think the one who's sitting there, is the beggar because he was, expecting something. So he is the beggar. But in general, if you're asking for this, anyone who's begging something, expecting something from others, in the kind of is a beggar. Is give me kind of an attitude. Always in the lookout for something.
Okay. Kamlaji, you are about to say something.
I wanted to tell both are beggars.
Vijayji, one person is physically beggar, another person is mentally beggar.
Can you explain that?
The person who is not well dressed, he takes his profession as a beggar. But the one who is well dressed, he is well dressed, and he is showing to the outside world that he is he is great. But because of the qualities he carry, he is actually a beggar, because he is looking the other person as low, and he's having the pride, so he's mentally beggar. He's again trying to prove to himself that I am great, I am great, I am great. So he's having that beggar consciousness. He's limiting himself, and he's having that beggar consciousness. That is why he is showing that attitude.
But I would not call that as a beggar consciousness, because he is not expecting anything from him, right? So how do you say that? He's only showing his attitude over there.
He is expecting greatness. He has that comparison. You are low and I am great.
But that is
You
not
don't
something
have that and I am
beggar
having this.
Yeah, that is an attitude. That is some
I,
kind of
Padmajaji,
ahambhava.
so what Anupamaji is pointing at is, a beggar is give me money,
Correct.
right? Whereas this well-dressed person is give me respect because I have more. He's not saying
from
it
that
out
aspect.
loud. He's not saying it out loud, but you can notice that. Give me respect. Give me respect. Tell me that, I have more. So he's also seeking. Seeking is not that person, we call him as a beggar because he's dressed like that. He's saying, Amatai. This person is not saying Amatai, but he's demonstrating Amatai through his actions.
He's commanding respect, basically, looking at it.
He's saying, give me, give me, give me. He's also give me, give me.
Okay, correct.
Yeah? So anyone who is of the nature of give me, give me, give me, whatever, you replace the next part of the give me with whatever, has a beggar mindset. Meaning what? There is something lacking in that mind. So therefore, there is a seeking that has arisen. Whenever there is a seeking, the seeking mindset is a equivalent of this beggar mindset, begging mindset. Is that distinction clear, Ji?
Vijayji,
Yes, Ji, please tell.
in front of God, everybody is beggar only, no?
As long as I'm in front of God, yes, I am a beggar. As long as you are in front of somebody you call as God, you are a beggar. Because you always think of yourself as, I have lack and God has everything. So therefore, yes, in that sense, everyone is a beggar. As long as one hasn't realized who is God and who is he.
Now, the second question is abundance.
Yeah.
Okay. God is abundant, this one, correct?
Hmm.
In front of God, everybody is beggar. When you obtain God nature in you, okay?
Not
At that time,
not obtain when you
from God.
realize your own
Uh,
God nature.
yeah.
See,
Now,
obtain means what? Obtain means it is something that is coming from outside.
full. When we become full,
Means what? Means what? It is not obtaining. See, obtaining means what, Nalini Amma? Is to go and get something. Correct? Whereas here, the pointer is realizing. Realizing that you already have, but
mm,
you're not noticing it.
yes, everybody is God only in that sense. Chaitanya.
Huh.
Then we are also abundant only. Then we will stop asking anything. Whatever we are having, we'll say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever we are having, we have to say, thank you to universe. Universe is God.
And that is why Sadguru is always
Mm,
only Tathastu.
yeah.
And that is why Sadguru is always only giving. Because there is no lacking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, three characters.
Abundance
I
means
said three characters. Okay. You saw two characters. Who is the third character that I'm referring to? That is not necessarily in this scene, but who is the third character that we brought up in the discussion? Naturally, it came up.
Who is seeing these two characters? That Jiva.
she.
Okay.
Yes.
That is one way
Dakshi.
of looking at it. But we just now discussed the third character. So we talked about two characters. What is the nature of these two characters? One is a professional beggar. Another one
Yes.
is a beggar that is not necessarily known to the world. He's well dressed. The world doesn't call him a beggar, but
Correct.
you and I just now recognize, thanks to Anupama ji, he is also beggar.
Yes.
So we
So
saw
other
two
one is
beggars.
the Sadguru.
Other one is a Sadguru. Excellent.
Sadguru.
What is the nature of Sadguru?
Abundant, giving joy, giving happiness, giving whatever he has, he abundantly he gives. That
There is no limitation. So whatever that is needed happens, therefore.
needed for evolution, is it? Our evolution, individual's evolution.
Depends on, who is that who's seeking. Because
Ah.
Sadguru is not a person to seek something. But in the presence of the Sadguru, depending upon how the others' limitations are, depending upon that limitation gets fulfilled.
Okay, so darshana, if I get the darshana of this Guruji, all my dreams have fulfilled. So I regularly visit my Guru. That is how the people get keep coming to the Sadguru and visiting Sadgurus often.
I didn't.
Because
Are you making a statement or are you asking a question?
no, like how Sadguru by his own nature of giving according to their individuals' needs. For example, a person who doesn't have any Atma Gnana, any spiritual knowledge, he or she visits the Sadguru. If some marriage or some any other challenges, career, if he's facing in his life, then because of the presence of the evolved person, he blesses Tatastu, Olledagli. Then that happens in his life. So that is how he keeps attracting to the Sadguru, and slowly he will realize the nature of the Sadguru and gain the qualities in him. No, I am just making the statement telling that how a person from beggar attitude is slowly converted to the abundant attitude with the blessings of Sadguru.
Yeah.
Correct, Vijayji?
What we need to recognize here is abundance is not a guna. Abundance is a swarupa. Because of
Swarupa.
the anantate, see, anantate can be infinite, right? It is infinite. It means that there is no lacking. It means one of the words that we can use is abundance. So abundance is inherent, is not a guna.
Okay. Swarupa Lakshana.
Swarupa Lakshana.
So that is also a realization. You have to realize when you are realizing the Swarupa of Sadguru, that is Lakshanas, qualities of a Sadguru, this is abundance is also one of the quality of a Sadguru. Okay. So it is not a feeling.
It is not a feeling, it is inherent.
Inherent.
We use feeling, the word feeling, when it kind of becomes apparent in the mind, right? So something must be noticeable. So when it becomes noticed, we say, I think about it, I feel about it. So feeling is a little bit more deeper, and thinking is next level.
Correct. Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha.
So like that, it's the same thing, but it is expressing in different levels in different ways, and you and I are trying to express it through words and different pointers.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So any other questions or viewpoints about question 4, and in a way now we have touched upon question 5. Does anybody else like to express? Saranonji, Padmaji, Kamlaji, Nalini Amma.
Yeah, maybe I will just answer to the fourth one. I'll just add my understanding as well. So with relation to question 3, so having is, I see with respect to the gunas, while knowing is with respect to the Swarupa. Knowing the Swarupa, it's not something like I'm going to get. Having is like it's from one thought to the other. Like if I have money, wealth, it's the thought that I have, right? And what is out there is the thought that I don't have. So right, so which keeps the gunas keep changing, and that's not my nature, and which is why focusing on the haves and have-nots will not make anyone happy, because that will keep going on, right? Which is why here we are focusing on the knowing part, knowing your Swarupa, so that which doesn't change, and all the other attributes, gunas, ride on that foundation of my Swarupa, right? So which is very important to be able to distinguish between what to focus and like what not to focus, or like the attributes we cannot. So once I know that, the attributes will not disturb me. That's the final big point of what how a jnani is seen in the blissful state, because like he's able to clearly stay rooted on his Swarupa, and not the ones that come and go. Right? Yeah, that's the fourth question I just wanted to add. Yeah, and the fifth one is related to that. Until one knows that, like, whatever one is doing will not have that meaning. If you like running around and like seeking for that happiness from actions, or yeah, in general, I will leave it to that actions, right? The question goes back to, why am I doing what am I doing, right? And finally, if it comes back to, as you were saying, a marathon runner, right? Yeah, even I have a friend. I think at some point of time I started in this path, and I saw him in the other path, which is like, he was a normal individual who moved from what we call this normalcy in the materialistic world to fitness, and started doing swimming, running, and then like went to marathons, triathlons, and hiking, then Himalayas. So initially it was like, wow, that's so nice to see. And now I can say that, like, I was actually comparing, saying, I'm not doing that. Okay. But then, like, every year I saw that, like, he's stepping up and like going. Then I realized, where does it take? Where does it take one? And obviously, it gave him that satisfaction. But then, like, it keeps driving. It gives you a high to do more, to do more, to do more. Right. So, while the foundation is what we are discussing here, which is fine. Body is also important right now, in the sense, for one trying to and realize this, as we say, it's the human birth is a very special one, to realize, and um, and get the liberation, right? But then, yes, so making the best out of it, and getting the jnana, and which I see gives a lot more clarity in the actions that I do, right? Um, so that's how I relate to that, the movie scene, knowing and having the knowing self, and which gives the clarity, and that leads to the state of mind uh, of one, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Wonderful. It also gives you the freedom to
Freedom.
modify the attributes if necessary.
Yeah.
Nalini Amma, you have some question, Amma?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
now, Sharvana told liberation. Okay. Huh? If we attach to something, then we are in bandhana.
Yes.
If we are free to that, then raga and dvesha. For towards dvesha, we should not have dvesha.
Correct.
Everything we should accept it. Okay.
Correct.
Whatever comes,
Yes.
then we'll be liberated.
Mhm.
If you are attached to it, the things are coming to day-to-day transaction, it is coming to us. Okay. You accept it. Go on, accept. then there is no feeling that I don't have moksha or anything. You will be free from that. Always.
Mm.
So what is the question, Amma? Are you asking a question to Saravanji?
No, liberation.
Mhm.
Want to be always liberate, no, free, moksha. We want moksha.
Mhm.
If we attach to it, losing conscious, losing. Array, today I am having this one, tomorrow I may lose this. Huh? We should not have that one.
Mm.
Correct, no? At any moment, it will go. One day, we have to lose it. So we should not have raga towards that. Then we are completely liberated only.
So I think Nalini, you're talking about how to be free from liberation itself, right?
Yeah. Moksha.
Okay.
We are coming here to study liberation only, no?
Mm.
Ultimate.
So excellent point. Yeah, one has to be liberated from liberation itself.
Like this.
Because wanting to liberate is itself another limitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saravanan, am I right?
Yeah. So no. This in the absence of this not jnana, it's not easy to to disconnect from this world where, like, right, like each one is doing something or other, and
Yeah.
what they do, they talk, and like you always say, oh, he did this, oh, he went there, oh, what am I doing? And right, so very easily you can say that, okay, looks like I'm the only one not doing, or like how is that everyone else is able to do? And so it takes you in a different direction where, like, you are always looking, suddenly uh, I have gone through it, and I know when others talk around me, right, it's always like only I am not the one who's doing, or like I am not able to do, everyone else is doing it. Looks like only my life is not that great compared to the others. Right, so which is where the jnana that we are getting, and what we are discussing here helps to see that, right?
If we are adopting this type of mentality in our this one, every moment we are free and we are enjoying whatever you are getting, you are enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Thank you, Amma, for that. Anybody else likes to express? Manasaji, Kamlaji, Anupamaji, on question 4 and 5. Padmaji, you have anything to share on 4 and 5?
No, sir. I think everyone beautifully explained everything and that is related to that question. So knowing only makes everything else known. That is the only thing that we have to remember, I feel. One has to remember, not we. Yeah.
Very nice. Wonderful. Kamlaji, you have anything to express?
No, Vijayji, everybody has explained beautifully. The only thing last what I understood is knowing itself becomes a limitation when you think that you know something.
Very nice.
So that way, how do you know what you know is limited or unlimited?
No, let's not analyze that only. We should accept thing as it is. Let's not become judgmental. Whether I know or I don't know. Let's not get into it only. We just need to experience and move on.
And to add to this, Kamalaji, we need a other person who who can tell that what you are knowing is a limitation anta. Right?
There's always another person, right?
Yeah, Guru, Sadguru. Sadguru has traveled, has done all, will be, he can guide because he knows all the thing, whatever we know, whether it is a limitation or not another, he will have that idea. So without Sadguru, it's difficult for us to know what we are knowing is a limitation or not. So because our vasanas will be guiding us, so
So
that is my view.
before knowing Sadguru, also,
Huh.
I felt I have limited knowledge only. So I was running around talking to everyone, like, how can I get more? How can I learn more? I was thinking, like, whatever I have studied is also not enough.
Oh, you are a blessed person. Because then we can call you as a learned person. Because as the shloka says, Vidya dadati vinayam. When you think that you have learned something, it teaches you to be more humble, it seems. Because we will come to know that I don't know nothing. I know only little bit, Anta. So
So
it may be because of your inherent qualities, you are able to recognize that I know a little bit. So there is something more I have to learn. I should understand. Maybe because of that, you got that feeling, I think.
mm,
Vidya dadati vinayam.
and post like after coming in the presence of Sadguru, uh, now how's the knowing part? How do you see the knowing part? Like how much I know?
Uh,
So I,
as
I think, sorry
With
for
respect to you.
interrupting. The question has to shift from
Hmm.
knowing to know the knower.
No, the no.
Okay, so when you have known the knower
Hmm.
as none other than yourself, true self, then only you are able to distinguish limitation of knowing. In the sense that, as a BMI, there's always a limitation. How much ever you know, there is something more to know as a
More
BMI,
to know.
right? But as a knower of that knowing, there is no limitation. So as a BMI, whatever you know, when the thinking is I am a BMI, it is limited.
Yeah.
So what Kamalaji pointed at is, as a BMI, know that what I know is also a limitation.
It will always be limited.
Yeah, as a BMI.
As a BMI. Correct.
As long as I'm associating that knowing with BMI, then it is still limited. Therefore, the prompt or the pointer is always at know the knower. Realize the knower. Know what is most important to be known.
excellent, Vijayji. Know the knower. Dialogue of the day.
All right. Any other expressions? Manasaji, I thought you wanted to express something.
I don't want to express, but I just have one kind of a question. That is, in a day-to-day life, we get so many challenges. Like when we stay in a prakriti, it shows us a duality. So we always feel ourselves that we are not Purna, and since that is the duality, we always tend to experience that. Yeah, we are not Purna. For example, we get hungry. There's so many challenges. Even the slightest inconvenience also makes us um, irritated or something. So in all those situations, we again come to the situation of duality, and again, though we know the truth, we come to the stage that we feel like we are not Purna. So how to practically we should apply this?
So again, the question boils down to the same fundamental question. Who is the one being Apurna in that given situation? As a simple example, Ji, when you're noticing something, for example, right now, you can hold any object in front of you. You notice that object. And when you notice that object, for example, right now, you can just for the time being also look at the video that, whatever the video that may be coming on your screen. I'm holding something. So now, if I ask you, what am I holding? What is your answer? What am I holding?
Yeah, some object.
Correct, right? And how do you know this object is there? How do you know this object is there?
Because I saw that.
But please notice the answer now. You
Okay.
notice the object.
Yeah.
This is also object.
Yeah.
Also object. This is also object.
Yeah.
This is also object. How did you distinguish this object from this object or this object from this object?
Because those are all part of you and
That's
other.
okay. That is a separate thing. But for you, it's an object, no, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How did you distinguish? The question is not about what is it part of. The question is, how did you distinguish the object?
Because it wasn't there earlier and you had it later on.
Can I say that you're looking at some kind of a boundary?
Yeah, we can say that as well.
Right? See, this boundary appears to be different from this boundary.
Yeah.
See, what makes you feel that this is all one?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Because, again, if you truly notice, Ji, for example, the eye is much different from the hand.
Yeah.
It is two different objects.
Yes.
Right? However, there is a thinking that has developed that, oh, this is one. And this is another. And how is this another? Because, there is some kind of a boundary, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is one more important thing that we missed in noticing these objects. What is that most important thing that we missed while noticing the objects?
Not sure.
See, where is this object? Where is this object? Where is this object? Where is this object contained in right now?
In the space.
In consciousness.
So, first of all, to your mind, it appears like space, correct?
Okay.
There is a space in which all these objects are contained, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
We miss seeing the space.
Okay.
So, you focus on the objects. That, see here, see that. Oh, how colorful. Oh, how wonderful. How long, how thin, how fat. So we become embroiled. We have trained our mind to notice only the forms. And we have forgotten to see the formless.
Okay.
Right? Not that the form can occur without the formless. But we don't notice it. Why? Because you have trained yourself to notice the form. Because in life, by noticing the form, you have gained some popularity. Correct?
Okay.
You're in a garden and you're able to call your friend, see that flower. Everybody says, which flower, which flower? Notice that small little flower, yellow. Wow, what a color. You say, everybody saying, looking everywhere. Where? I don't see. See, come. And you point and everybody, wow, Manasa, so nice. Thank you. So nice. Oh, by showing the forms, everybody is clapping for me. It boils, then it travels to other areas, no? Somebody comes and you give them some food. I only made this shagi uppittu. Please see how it is. So nice. Oh, by playing with the forms, I get the recognition. I get claps. So the mind gets trained into recognition, playing with the forms, forgetting that all this is occurring in this empty space, which is constant presence all the time. So,
Okay.
in a similar way, in any given situation, you, the very divine consciousness, which has no modifications, is the one in whose presence all these changes called the various forms and situations are happening. But the focus is on the play, not on the stage.
Okay.
Because of that, it feels as if, oh, I am not that during those situations. So, training of the mind is needed
Okay.
to notice the stage and the play.
Okay.
Notice the space and the form. To notice the silence and the sound.
Yes.
And to eventually realize there is really no sound. Sound has no existence. Only sound is permanent. Silence is permanent. Form has no existence. Through the form, existence alone is there. There is none other than consciousness alone.
Much clearer, Vijayji, now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji. All right. Is there anything else, anybody? Okay. If not, then we'll end our contemplation for today here. Hari Om. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.